How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the work week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was in market conditions. Well, you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. Why did the toilet paper roll down the hill? Because he needed to get to the bottom. Not too. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN. Yes, it did end up pulling back, but of course, I got to make sure I give you guys an update and also being aware in regards to important things that you really do need to know before going into next week. I won't take up any more of your time, so now let's get into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is the technical analysis, taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, we want to know resistance, and we want to know what to expect from OCGN going into the next week as well. And then secondly, we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. Institutions have been loading up on shares, and you're about to find out how that's actually looking. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know, were any large scale orders going through OCGN today? This tells us institutions are getting involved. And then when all of that is done, we'll be jumping into the final thoughts. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $6.71, being down 1.61%. On the low, it tested $6.67, and then on the high, testing $6.93. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, we can see we traded at 7.014 million shares. And as far as for the average volume over 10 trading days, it is at 14.536 million shares. So well below average there, and something to take into consideration due to the fact we ended up being down on the day. Now, when we take a look at our indicators, you can see from the RSI down below, it's right around 43.60. So we are in the oversold territory. And then when we take a look at the indicators on our chart, we have strength above the 200-day, we are below the 100-day, and we're also below the 21-day EMA. So as far as for today, what is good to see from OCGN, we actually finished on an area of support in the $6.70 range. I wanted to see if we can hold up close to $7 or being around $7. We didn't end up getting that. Of course, we had some selling pressure when we tested $6.93, but then we closed at $6.70. So what I'd want to look forward to going into next week, if we could hold up this area, and I'm talking about the $6.70 and as well as around the $6.50 area as well, or $6.45 to be exact. And if it does decide to pull back further, you guys already know, I want to see that $6 level hold up. We do know they have earnings that's going to be coming out. So you might see a little bit of anticipation and see some strength where we can come back and reclaim the 21-day EMA here being above $7.13 and possibly see that test going to $8. But do keep in mind of the fact before we get to 8, we will have some resistance here right around the $7.72 range. But once we're able to get past it, like I said, I'll be looking forward to seeing some momentum and as well as some volume coming into the stock. But for the most part, hey, not too bad in regards to a Friday. We still closed at $6.70, and that's why I have nothing to complain about, really. So we're on Fintel. We're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for OCGN. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see here alone for July the 30th, we have 4 new positions. All right, so let's take a look. So we have Alliance Bernstein LP went in with 192,600 shares. Also, when we take a look at Invesco, they went in with 1,527 shares. And as far as for Vanguard Healthcare Index Fund, fund 566,662 share. And as far as Zurcher and Cotton Bank, going in with 20,922 shares, all on July 30th. I had to mention that again. So institutions are loading up on OCGN stock. Now, when we take a look at the short interest information, we can see the short volume ratio at 25.88%. And as we scroll down on the page, the short shares availability is at 90,000. And as far as for the short ball free rate, it is at 8.93. So that has gone up from yesterday. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see here for the close from yesterday, it was at 56.89, and for the 28th, it was at 54.20. So OCGN does continue to have short squeeze potential. So that's one thing I want you guys to be aware of. So there's a lot of buying volume that ends up coming to the stock. We can see some strong moves in price action. But also we got to be clear of the fact, hey, institutions have been loading up on OCGN shares, and that's also something that is great to see as well. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we can see here on the inflow we have 7,601, and then on the outflow we have 8,844. We have 0 on the large, we have 4,648 on the medium, and we also have 2,952 on the small. As far as on the outflow side, we have 467 on the large. On the medium, we have 5,949, and on the small, we have 2,427. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for July the 30th and as well as the 29th, it was an outflow day. So for the past 5 days, we had 4 outflow days and only had 1 inflow day. So taking everything into consideration, yes, we did have institutions who were selling out of shares. But another thing also to understand is the fact this is Friday. Many are not trying to hold this position over the weekend. They rather just see, okay, let's see how the price action moves as far as for Monday and as far as the early parts of the week before deciding to actually go in with a position. This is a very smart approach to have, and it's part of the reason many will ask me, hey, when is the best time to buy in? And they always wait for when it has that run up or it's at a price where, you know what, it does have the potential to pull back. Now this is where you start to look at the stock and say, well, you know what, this looks like a buying opportunity right here, because when I was looking at it when it was like $8 or maybe it was in the high 7s, now I have the opportunity to actually get it in the 6s. So again, this is a great way to have your strategy formulated around. Pick up stocks for the best prices. Don't wait for the highs. And that's why I said in a previous video, I don't think it was one yesterday, but maybe the one before that, where I was like, hey, if you want to get into a position, practice patience because it can pull back. I'm not afraid to say that. Many might say, well, you know, aren't you bullish on OCGN? Of course I'm bullish on OCGN, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell people to overpay if they don't have to. So now let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, I'm definitely looking forward to next week. We also do know they're going to be going over their financial results on August the 6th. So there's going to be a lot of anticipation for that, and it's part of the reasons why I believe we should be seeing another spike. Again, this is great for anyone that wants to trade off of the fluctuations and so forth. Also, I've already seen inside of the news, we've been seeing this online, there's trials going on in regards to mixing covaxin alongside with Covishield. I think this would be great, especially in India, where they really got hit hard by the pandemic. And of course, we have to just kind of wait, be patient, and see how those results actually do turn out. Also, another thing to take into consideration of the fact the Delta variant is still wreaking havoc. We've already heard as far as for the mRNA vaccines, they're not as effective when it comes to covaxin. Covaxin shows a lot better results in that particular category. And of course, since many people who are fully vaccinated had the mRNA vaccination and they're still getting infected, it's something that needs to be looked at and it needs to be taken seriously. And we've already seen as far as for the Biden administration, he is taking strides towards that. Now, the next thing that he needs to do is to make sure we get covaxin. Covaxin will definitely help with that issue that they're struggling with. And another thing that I want to go over, we see institutions have been loading up. We went on Fintel and we also saw Vanguard loading in heavy. So just seeing that definitely does look fairly bullish. And of course, OCGN does continue to have short squeeze potential. So for anyone who's inside of this play, if we get a lot of buying volume coming into the stock, we can end up seeing some strong moves to the upside. So we just have to continue to be patient and see how this play plays itself out going into next week. And do keep in mind, we are still waiting on that EUL from WHO that's supposed to be expected expected in the second week of August. I'm hoping it doesn't come any later than that. And I feel like that could definitely have an impact on the stock as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.